Good afternoon. Welcome back to New York Outcast. This is a cover show for Rick's Life as I See It. Currently, Rick's working on his brake booster, I assume, or supervising the work done on his brake booster from sounds of things. So I highly doubt he's fitting under the dash, remove those couple bolts and slide the pin out and remove it because that's a pain for anybody's worked on those. Most of them attach in through the firewall. You got to climb up underneath where the pedals are, remove covers, mess with stuff.
You don't climb underneath it. You lay down and squirm your
Yeah,
way underneath the
it's
pedals.
not easy for me. So let alone somebody on the bigger side of things. And then it's back and forth. And honestly, two hands are better than, or two people are better than one when you get to the point of actually install to try to line it all back up and crawl in and get the bolts. But long story short, he's off working on his truck or assisting. So this is kind of a last minute throw together show. I was thankfully got a few guests here, which I'm sure some of you probably know. We have we've already heard there, so we'll start with him, Jason Stewart. So hello, Jason. What's up, man?
Hey, Rob, man. Thanks for filling in for Rick, man. Give us something to do this afternoon. Good to hang out with you guys.
Yeah, no problem. Glad you're available. So it worked out that I'm available, you're available, and at this point, it looks like the famous Michigan. I'm trying to think of something cool to say, but whatever.
Yeah,
That Michigan guy's here,
there's
Squiblo.
nothing cool. Nah, see, I live in Michigan. I'm from North Carolina.
This is like the same tomato thing. I don't
Well,
know.
like I say, that's worse, Squib, because you're in Michigan by choice. You can't blame the people born there.
Well, they can always move. Eventually, I'm going to move someplace warmer, but it's a good place to raise a family. It's a good place to earn a living. The gun laws aren't really that bad, but it's cold. It's cold, and they got too many potholes. Really, yeah, way too many.
Though, let's see, stealing tree. So it looks like that's a new person that I'm unfamiliar with. Welcome for joining us. Sorry, I don't mean to cut off. I was reading chats here. I guess I look different today. Had a, I guess you could say a rough night. I don't know.
Now it's the camouflage, dude.
Maybe, maybe. I know it makes me hard to see.
It does.
Uh,
Just smile more often. Oh.
yeah. But we're joined out there again by Steel and Tree, Gunpowder Beauty, GMC TX, Mad Sexy, Squibload, crazy Michigan guy. Let's see, Squib Lift, which I think that's another crazy Michigan guy. Could be the same. I don't know. Sam of Anarchy. So thanks for joining us, everybody. All right, now that I went through all that, where were we?
So in the pre-chat, we were talking a little bit about sport shooting compared to practical use in real life. Some of the muscle memory, some of the discipline, the getting used to shooting on the move, things like that. That translates, but some of the other stuff, the scorekeeping and the timer and stuff, that's not real world.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think the with a lot of that sports shooting, the multiple targets and movement is good, but when it comes to muscle memory, some of the safety stuff could be a hindrance. Personally, just from the experiences I've seen, in a sense, that's I don't know. So without getting too much in detail, but basically, I do think it's good, but it's not obviously the end all, but I hear Jason's looking forward to getting into it. Basically, I believe for the movement aspect of doing something different, obviously he can speak for himself, which I am totally with. That's why I'm not a huge fan of the regular ranges per se, because I'm out of camera, so it doesn't matter. But all the rules, you can only fire so many rounds within so many seconds. You can only fire from this position. You can't go prone. Pulling from your holster, things like this. Some ranges obviously have rules, and yes, there may be good reasons, or so they say, for insurance purposes for these rules, because you are dealing with everybody in society, meaning people that are questionable to people that are skilled. Just like driving, there's people with a license out there that it just blows your mind, but they're legal, so same scenario. So I don't know. Just know I'm getting lost a little bit. Yeah, I got lost. Sorry. Looked at the side chat and I'm thinking about my coffee. So, Jason, what do you got to say about this with your shooting? So, I was saying how I support the idea, because I do think it's better than just stationary and more practical. So, personally, because I can't think of a situation where I've ever been shot at and I just stood there. Like, first thing I'm doing is moving. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. I don't know. So I think movement is involved. It's almost like fighting. A lot of people, when you look at combatives, they're a lot of boxing, all this, but in the end, most fights end up on the ground. So you got to be able to have ground control. I mean, if you suck on the ground, you're probably gonna lose. Like the way it was put to me is who ends up winning when two of you are hand to hand into the ground. And they stated the ones whose buddies show up first. That's probably a little different, but I feel like I'm rambling. Somebody else say something.
But yeah, man, Chris from the 740s around here, he's got me interested in it and getting me going on doing some competition shooting. So I got all the gear I need. He's going to take me to do some practice tomorrow. But there's probably only a match or two or so left for this year locally for USPSA carry optics. Maybe I'll get into one this year. I'd like to. Maybe there's two. I can go somewhere else. But I'm just getting a head start for next year. I'm not late on this year. I'm early for next year, man. And I am going to have fun. And I'm going to practice all winter long. And I'll be ready next spring. I got a lot of places around here to shoot competition within an easy drive. So I'm taking advantage of that. And I'm just interested. Like I was saying in the pre-chat, I'm tired of going to the gun range and standing still and just shooting at targets. You know what I mean? I want to get out and move and run around and do different things, different targets, man. So this is exciting for me. Like I said, I've just been bored to death for years now of going to the range. So I want to get out, do some what they call sport shooting, I guess. Have some fun, man. I've had a lot of fun just getting my gun ready. A lot of fun buying new gear and stuff. So, yeah, I'm ready to get out and enjoy myself with it.
Was that thunder?
Yeah, it started raining here.
I think you're going to enjoy it, and I think it's going to be a challenge, but it could be something where you start to branch out and go, all right, I want more, I want more, I want more. So they've got different, so I know they got different classifications for the firearms you use, right?
Yep. Yeah.
And then do they have different, does it sprout off into different, I don't want to, how do I explain this? Like, is there different types of, like, you're not going to do every event, right? Or is, what I don't know what I'm saying.
Well, for me, just figuring it out, starting out, we have the local events here. There's like two major different leagues. There's ISPSA and there's USPSA. They both kind of have different rules and different classifications on your guns. A lot of it intertwined back and forth, but there is differences. IDPA, to me, in my mind, it could be wrong, but when I've seen of it, its shooting is more of a lot more of running. You know, maybe you got to open a door. There's door barriers. There's window spaces to shoot through, doors to lift up. USPSA has some of that, but it just seems like that other one has more of it. It's a lot of it. Maybe you got to go to your knees. Maybe you got to do something to do the shot. There's just a lot more of that. The USPSA seems to be more of kind of leaning or shooting around barriers or whatever. Maybe open. I've seen some where they do have to open a little flap door or something, but it's not as much as the other one is, and it's local. But what interested me is they got this division for carry optics for a red dot on there, so that's what I'm going to start out with. But yeah, it looks pretty fun, man. I know there's two different sets of rules. Maybe you could shoot most of your gear and stuff with either division, but there is rule differences and scoring differences. I'm not really concerned at all about scores or anything. I'm going to learn and have fun and to move. As you get moving along, then I'll be more into, you know, the facts, everything about it. But which one, maybe I'll like one more than I like the other one, I don't know. But I'm starting out at USPSA, so that's just where my starting point is.
I wish you luck, Jason. So I'm sure you'll probably get some enjoyment out of it, just for the simple fact of doing something different, the movement. As I've stated before, I've kind of felt the same way, like coming from the military over to a bullseye club. Like, oh my God, yeah, like, it was horrible, man. So yeah, it's cool testing out a new handgun, something like that. You know, you get to hit the little runner and it goes back and forth, or in the winter or whatever. But it just, yeah, it does get old quick. It's nice to do different things, kind of keep pushing yourself, challenge yourself. So I definitely, yeah, wish you the best with it. I'm sure you're probably in good hands with the group of people you got over there. So, you know, who knows? This might end up being your thing.
Oh yeah, man. Plenty of knowledge and encouragement from Chris and Gene over at Reloading from the Hot Pot. But there's plenty of stuff on YouTube, man. I've watched a lot, liked a lot that I've seen, tried to learn as much as I can. Chris and Gene both, like every match they go to, they put out videos of it. That's pretty cool. I'm good with the guns. I'm good with the gear. I'm good to do that. But those guys are so good. They got cameras and recording equipment and everything. You know, they got whole backpacks of gear for that stuff, and then can come home and do film editing and all this. I can't do any of that.
Right now, eventually you'll probably, you know how it is. You start off with one thing and then it branches out, and before you know it, you got this and you got that. You start off with, you know, regular earmuffs, and you get noise canceling earmuffs. You start off with just using like cheap steel case ammo, then you're using like nickel plated freaking self defense ammo, or you're doing the cheap target setup, and then later you've got damn chronograph and a target camera and everything else.
Yeah, you're right. I will get into it eventually. One thing I see with it is, it's such a tool and advantage. If you could film your stage, and then you have that film, you can go home and review it. You could study everything you just did. You can check on your footwork and your stopping and starting, and just judge and see what you're doing wrong. You could compare it, like what your score and time was with somebody else. Maybe you started this stage out to the left, but all these guys started out over to the right and they all beat you by 5 seconds. You know what I mean? You can, having that film of your run is a tool. It's not so much entertainment or YouTube or that's cool. That's an actual information, like data recording of what you're doing that you could watch. So you film yourself in practice. But see, the stages are all set up and the stages are numbered. I forget how many there are, but there's a ton of them. And like you could have your own video file and a record of each course layout, your own video on that, how you performed or how other people performed on that stage. And then like say next month I'm going to go shoot something, they'll have a list of what stages it's at, and I can go back into my own files and see, like, if I shot that stage before, how did I shoot it, watch my videos, see what I did. I mean, there's a lot of homework, a ton of work and practice outside of just the match, if you want to be good. So I think that part of it's really cool.
Oh, and you're in the reloading now too, so that's going to be beneficial if you're going to start doing matches like this. So,
Oh yeah.
So you got a few things going for you on that aspect. Been shooting a while, plenty of firearms.
See, for what I'm gonna start out in, I got some bought ammo, some special ammo that's only like 900 feet a second. But for this, if you can reload yourself, you want a big, heavy 9mm and like a 147, and you want it to go as slow as possible, just enough to make that gun work, just enough, to bang a steel target, and enough for that slide to work. You don't want high powered full stuff, because you want quick shots. You want 2 shots, double tap shots, as fast as what you'd shoot a normal 1 shot. So you want some wimpy ammo. So being able to reload yourself is a huge plus in that. You get it tailored to your gun, get what you like. May not be the largest advantage, but it's another advantage to add up against somebody else. And you'll take as many little tiny advantages and together as you can get,
Yeah. And I mean, back to your statement on like the camera equipment, all that stuff. I mean, it all depends what you want to do too, and why you want to do it. That might turn into a job or a chore. So maybe you never end up being that camera guy. But at the same point, as long as you're doing your thing, getting what you want out of it, which honestly sounds more like shooting than trying to make videos and stuff, then I just focus on what you like about it, and kind of if you decide to do videos, then do them. So
man, I'm one of them guys that everything I do, whenever I find something new that I like, I am super excited about it. And once the doors open, I can't learn enough. I can't get enough knowledge. I'm thirsty for it. You know what I mean? I'm fiending to learn more, to learn. Other people look at learning, they dread learning or don't want to do that. I can't get enough of it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Give it to me. Just like reloading. You know what I mean? Give me all the knowledge you got. Let's talk about it all day. Let's whatever. Anything that's newer to me, I can't. I soak it up, man. I can't get enough of it. So this is a whole new door that got opened, and I just been having fun shopping for a week, man. Getting a belt set up and a holster set up. So just all of it, man. It's I'm digging it, man. I'm really enjoying it.
So BS. See, he changed his name there. Basically, he's got a question here asking, why do you want to slow the velocity that much? I think you kind of answered it.
Low,
But if you want,
lowest recoil possible. Fastest follow-up shot possible. Lowest recoil. You don't. You're not getting scored. You're getting scored for weak ammo on this category, anyways. So, what? Why run a hot, powerful, plus P round or something when you don't have to?
now,
Just the lowest, lightest recoil as possible is what you're looking for here.
makes me think of something, an argument that people go back and forth on. Now, you're stating lower recoil gives you faster shots, correct? That's the
Yeah.
motto of the sport, or however it's looked at in a sense.
Well, what it is, man, is you got each target. You're gonna have to dump 2 shots on it as fast as you can. There's a timer running,
Mhm.
and if you watch any of these videos or anybody's done this for a while, or anybody that's good, their shots come off so fast. It sounds like one shot came out of that gun, and if they do take a third shot, the third shot sounds like 2 shots. These guns are fast. Why they call them race guns for this competition? No recoil. The gun is not tilting. Your sights aren't bouncing around. You got to stay on target, man. You've got to control that. You can't have a gun that's flipping all around like you're target practicing and 9mm don't mean that. You need your gun to shoot like it's a 22 no matter what caliber it is. That's why these people spend $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 on a top-notch 1911, because it's shooting like it's a 22. There's no movement out of that gun. So that's why these race guns cost what they cost. But yeah, to put it in a basics, yes, less recoil, the better. That's a faster shot. It's your second shot. The first shots are always going to be fast no matter what you got. It's that second shot on that target that's got to be quick. There's no,
All right.
like,
Now,
I don't want to wait around for it. There's not checking your sights. This has got to be point and shoot quick and
now
move on.
transfer that over to a bedside gun. Because I've had this argument with people where they're like, "Oh, I want my 44 Magnum or whatever as their bedside gun," and I guess their theory is they want to make that one shot count. But what if there's 2 intruders? What if there's 3? You know what I mean? And what if you wake up and they're already coming through your bedroom charging at you to try to take you out right off the jump? My motto is I would like to get more shots off than that perfect shot. Plus, I might be half awake at this point. You know what I mean? So I just find it funny that you're saying that low recoil, it's quicker shots, because that's been an argument I've had with people in a sense. So
Well, yeah,
I don't know what your
these
guys.
aren't self-defense rounds we're shooting.
Right. I understand that, but it's the same theory. It's just down on a different level, But I just thought that's kind of funny or ironic in a sense that
Well, it's just
you got
part
a
of.
whole sport towards getting more shots off quicker, but yet some people still argue that, I don't know. I guess a cannon's better. I don't know.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm the
it's-
Canon guy.
Yeah, it's kind of like this. Why you get into trigger jobs? Some guns just come with such a heavy trigger to begin with. You need it lightened up. But when you start talking about, there's a difference between a trigger job, a street trigger job, and a competition job. And competition jobs usually going to be super light. That is so you can shoot fast. They're set up, competition set up short resets. Low weight of the trigger pulls. That's all to do with a faster follow-up shot. The lighter ammo just goes along with that and helps that. You know what I mean? It's got to come down to you being fast. That's plain simple. It's got to come down to you being fast. Anything mechanically that you can do to make it faster is what you're shooting for here. It's kind of like race car, building a race car. You know what I mean? Like every little detail counts. Every little thing means something. It's all a game of hundreds of thousands at the end. And if it takes you a half a second to shoot two, 115 grain 9mm longer, you're screwed. You know what I mean? You can't have that. You've got to be as fast.
And that's where this kind of goes into more of a sport than practical application. I'm not saying that you wouldn't improve your skills for self-defense or for combat if you were ever in that, or get some other skills that you can translate into other things like hunting or whatnot. But that's where it's kind of interesting when I talk to people who've never served in the military or anything, where they think that we walk around with our M16s on full auto all the time. And that's the exact opposite. We rarely use the full auto. That's what the squad automatic weapons and the machine guns are for. And speed, yes, when you're qualifying, there's slow fire and there's rapid fire. But even the rapid fire doesn't even come close to some of the speeds that some of these guys are shooting. People see Jerry Miculek, and he's fast and he's accurate. But look at him. He's up close and he's a stunt shooter. And that stuff is impressive. It is. And there are a lot of us that, I'm not necessarily myself, but there's a lot of us out there in the culture that would love to be that fast and this, that, and the other. That doesn't necessarily translate to survival. So from the sporting aspect, I find it actually more fun to be a spectator, but that all that speed stuff, there's sacrifices for that. It's not just cost. You could have a more fragile firearm, and there's some other things to consider as well. So I think from one standpoint, being able to recognize that this is for sport. Yes, it's still deadly and you need safety and everything else, but it's for sport. But on the other hand, it's not completely ineffective for self-defense or combat role.
I got a couple bullet points here I was thinking of covering over. I think we kind of mentioned weather earlier. That's one of them.
Well, we can hear that Jason's got some inclement weather there.
Yeah, I got some thunder happening here at my place as well now. So they claimed 40% of rain, but I think they don't know what the hell they're talking about. So the other day it was no rain and it rained all day. Like they had nothing on the satellite, but yet it rained all day. So you can't trust these damn people. But needless to say, water levels. You guys seeing like a difference in your area? Just recently seen, rivers in my area are like the lowest I can ever recall. Also, several people that I bumped into were stating how, this is crazy. My whole life, I've never seen it this low. Did a little research, and basically it was like 1939, I think it was the last time, like the lowest on record in this area. Where it's hard to say where they measure from, because they got the little measuring stick under the bridges and stuff, and but water channels stuff out, so it's deeper than what could be perceived as the bottom. So it's hard to say, but basically we're pretty damn low. Like, I'm just curious, you guys, is something you're seeing? I mean, we got low water, at least in my area. I got like two rivers that come around this area, and they're both low, like low. And I've noticed the trees are like burning up. Like, I don't know if it's lack of water or what's going on, but as I drive to work and around and stuff, I try to pay attention to everything. I try not just to judge on the trees right next to the roads. I've also tried to exclude power lines due to, I'm basically trying to pull factors out. But as you look to the sides, at least in my area, like trees that are in full sun are like burnt to shit, like with nothing else near them. Seems like things are burned up and drying up. Like, this is weird. Like that's why I don't like the West, because everything's a damn dust bowl. All the creeks are dry. You know what I mean? I'm getting nervous over here. Am I just crazy, or just what? Have you guys seen anything similar, or what's happening?
It's I don't know, man. It's been kind of dry for a month or two around here. This thunderstorm rain we got right now, this is first time I've known rain. I don't know, probably at least all month. I don't know. Uh, I don't notice our rivers going dry anywhere around here because most all our rivers are facing a dam within 20, 30 miles. So the rivers kind of don't even flow. They're just like long, skinny ponds. Uh, so I never really noticed anything being low. Everything's growing good. Crops are good here. Everything's green. But we haven't had a ton of rain. But nothing that, like, I think we were low. Nobody's complaining of being low on water.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard of like any water shortages or anything like that locally. I'm just going by what I see visually. It seems like even some of the lakes, stuff for the state parks, things like that, just seems like water levels are a bit lower. Um, yeah, and around here, usually, it's kind of abnormal to see it this low for a couple weeks on end, in a sense. So that's and we've had some rain. It's just I don't know if other places aren't getting it, so it's not coming down river, or it's all just absorbing in when it hits the ground, and nothing's actually making it, or what. So maybe I'm just freaking out over nothing, but it's just I guess odd patterns that are just kind of popping out to me as I travel, seeing these things. So just figure I don't know if something biblical's about to happen or what, but that I'd throw it out there, see if anybody else had a take on it. So Echo State and the whole country is going through a drought right now. Obviously, what Lake Mead's drying up, I think it is. They're talking about the Hoover Dam being within 10 feet and not being able to produce power. And the way that's been dropping, I assume a month they're going to be out of power. So
Yeah.
it's
So
probably
would you
not
like?
going to be good. You
Would,
probably know better than me, Squid, but don't they
yeah.
supply like Vegas and a lot of
No,
California?
absolutely not.
Okay.
Las Vegas gets its power from a Navajo reservation in Arizona. The power from the Hoover Dam goes to a small part of California. Seriously, the hydroelectric generation of Hoover Dam and Glen Canyon Dam, they're not anything significant. If they didn't make power, it wouldn't phase a thing. They literally generate that little bit of power. Because the
Wow.
structures are so enormous, people think they generate a ton of power, but they actually don't. The power generation is a secondary effect of controlling the flow of the water. They have so much water they want to keep in the reservoir and so much water they let downstream, and they have agreements with other states, all the states that are along the Colorado, and they have an international agreement with Mexico because at the end of it, Mexico's involved. A lot of the water gets diverted for agriculture. South of the Hoover Dam, by Parker, Arizona, there is a canal that runs all the way to Tucson on the east side of Arizona called the Central Arizona Project. You actually can drive over it in a few places. It's fenced off and whatnot, but there's a canal that zigzags all across the state of Arizona that provides water from the Colorado River. If you go further south, closer to or right at the California Mexico border, there is the Imperial Canal, which runs almost all the way to San Diego, and that provides a lot of water that goes into the Imperial Valley in Southern California, where they have a lot of agriculture. There's water there. That was there before, but it's been polluted. So bringing in the water from the Colorado River ensures a good supply of water for agriculture. With the weather being as good as it is out there, as long as they've got a supply of water, they can grow fruits and vegetables all year round. Now, they also have aquifers underground. They have old water that's still underneath the ground from prehistoric times, and they will pump that water out from time to time. But there are certain areas out there where there's actually like rare fish that live in these aquifers, and they aren't allowed to pump them out because they'll kill the fish or something like that. Plus, these aquifers are limited. In certain areas, they actually have ways to refill the aquifers and make sure there's a surplus of water for that municipality. But out there, they don't have as much of that. So when people talk about that, they seem to think that it provides all this power, but it actually doesn't. The water is there really for drinking water, agriculture, primarily agriculture, drinking water, and for recreation. And it's kind of interesting going out there. The last video I did out there, I made a joke. I dumped a gallon of water from Michigan in the lake. We're doing our part to help out, but it's really interesting seeing the boat ramp. I mean, it's literally going so far into the lake now, and some of the other things that you can see that used to be underwater that aren't anymore. I'm waiting for the B-29 to be completely above water. There's a B-29 that crashed in Lake Mead, and it used to be, I can't remember how many feet underwater, but it's not where the tail's sticking out just yet, but it's getting there. There was also a town on the north end of the Lake Mead National Recreational Area. What was it? What's it called? St. George, I think it is, or something. Not St. George. I can't think of it. Anyhow, we've been down there. It used to be 60 feet underwater. You can walk through the remains of all these buildings. When the settlement that was there was told, we're making a lake here, so get the hell out. And in 1936, the last person got out on boat. And this thing was 60 feet under the lake, and it's high and dry, and it's been that way for years. Just to give you an idea of how far the water is rescinded. This has been going on for almost 20 years. So it's low. But the main reason is because they haven't had the snowpack from the Rocky Mountains that melt and goes down into that. They've talked about draining Lake Powell, that's on the Arizona-Utah border, north upstream of Lake Mead, draining Lake Powell into Lake Mead to fill Lake Mead more, and then just leaving Lake Powell dry and just letting the Colorado River run through there. But I don't think they're going to do that. But don't think that the hydroelectric power that may not be generated is going to affect a thing. It won't even make one light bulb go dim.
Well, I wouldn't think it would affect anything here, but as a whole, I assumed it would be my understanding of the power grids were broken up in 3 or 4 sections, and they're pretty much, California over there on their own. They got the East, Texas, and
so they're not running the generators on the dams 24/7. They only run them from time to time. So those grids are already reinforced by nuclear power and by coal fire.
Coal,
power.
I heard.
Yeah, and
I heard they said they're going to have to switch to coal once it dries up or whatever. So
there's a massive coal-fired generator just outside of Page, Arizona, on the Navajo reservation side. They provide power for Las Vegas. There's a massive nuclear power plant west of Phoenix, Arizona, provides power for Phoenix. They cool the power plant off. There's no lakes out there. They cool it off with sewer water. They cool off the nuclear rods. On the east coast of California, there is a nuclear power generating station right there on the ocean by Camp Pendleton. And there's other power stations in between. There's lots of solar out there, but solar is not a sustained power because, it's got its own share of problems. And then as you start to go east, like from New Mexico on east, windmills. Well, hell, there's windmills in by Palm Springs. There's tons of wind turbines. So they do have other forms of power. The alternative power doesn't generate what people think. The hydroelectric, the solar, and the wind does not generate as much as coal and nuclear.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, it was just, like I said, one of my little bullet points here is possible topic, just because something I've noticed over the last couple days, or not a couple days, but the trees burning up, being extra dry. It's been like a few weeks now, been a thing that I've noticed. But other than that, there's that whole Smith and Wesson thing. You guys heard any statements from Glock? Didn't they get called in to a meeting?
I don't know.
I thought they got called in along with like Smith and Wesson and a couple others.
Yeah, I think Congress called in Smith and Wesson, a few others. But I know the the ones that Congress didn't call in, Glock wasn't in that list.
Okay.
That's because the government just made a big purchase from Glock.
So we probably won't see a similar statement from Glock as compared to Smith and Wesson.
Yeah, I thought that was funny when I saw the list of who Congress called in to talk to and what questions they were asking. Um, Not that it's anything about Glock. They're really calling in the manufacturers and going after companies that make AR-15s. Is really what the little discussion's going to break down to. It's not so much the firearm company. It's, do you make an AR-15?
And I've got a Smith & Wesson AR-15. Don't be messing with that.
Yeah, they want to know how many AR-15s you make, how how many you sell, how much do you spend on advertising for those AR-15s, all kinds of crap like that. So like Glock, they don't make AR-15s, so they're not asked to come in there testify or anything.
I see Pat out there asking what happened. I don't know if he's not aware of what we're referring to, but what was it, last week? Smith and Wesson CEO put a statement out. If you haven't seen it, I recommend go checking it out. It is reposted in my about page area, our community area. And you can read the whole thing right there. It's one page, which I kind of like too, short and sweet, to the point, but basically put out a statement, speaking against the, I don't know, I can't even think of the right way to put it now. I'd say go check it out if you want. It was cool. Basically, not trying to bow down and take responsibility for what idiots do with products or misusing them. So, which is kind of different than, not saying anything like a lot of manufacturers are doing at this point. So they kind of drew a line in the sand. I don't know how that's going to work out for them. I wish them luck. Honestly, I sent them a thank you letter this morning. So after watching Caliber Corner, Squib's idea, like, hey, you might not have money for a gun or this or that, but at least let them know or something. So went to their website, found the about us, and then contact, and left them a thank you letter. So, and who knows, maybe they'll backpedal in the future or whatever. But at this point, I like what the CEO had to say, and if they're catching crap for it, then I think we should give them our support in any way we can, in a sense. So, but all depends on your feelings and stuff on it. But I don't know. I'm happy they came out with it and they're dealing with it the way they are at this point. So, especially for being a company that I recommend and I like, and got their stuff right there on the wall. Thanks to Buck Stanley. So, but yeah, so that's in the right spot or whatever. But so that's pretty cool. That's basically what we're talking about, Pat. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out from Smith and Wesson. So, and of course, I got to make some jokes because I haven't seen a statement like that from Glock. I mean, you seen anything like that from SIG lately? Ruger? I don't know.
Yeah, because they're hinting they want to take away their company's protection so they get sued out of business, is what Congress is trying to do. Well, the Democrats in Congress are trying to do. So that's why they're calling in the companies they're calling in. 4 or 5 of them. I forget which all ones they were. But I just remember Glock wasn't one of them.
Yeah, so you got to take on this squib, or do you have to go get yourself another refreshment? You must be out grabbing a refreshment. So, what's your opinion on it, Jason? You like the idea, or?
Of Smith and Wesson speaking out?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I like what their president had to say. He just put it out there plain and simple to him, you know what I mean? Support the Second Amendment. It's not their responsibility for what some idiot does. And, you know, his letter called it all out, called them all out for not prosecuting and putting criminals in jail. You know what I mean? Quit blaming these crime statistics on the gun manufacturers. You know what I mean? Hold the stupid people responsible for their stupid actions. But he called them out on it for their policies of being soft on crime and then using inflated crime numbers to try to make us look bad. And I'm glad he called it out and said what had to be said.
Yeah, I agree. So I realize a statement like that for a company like that is really probably kind of risky. You know, I'm hoping the CEO doesn't get replaced and they start, you know, singing a different tune or something. But you know, financially, I would think that's a risky statement. It shouldn't be, in my opinion, at all. This is America. It should be supported. It should be a no brainer. But the way things are going, it's kind of a risky move on them. So I think that's kind of respectable, especially since they haven't 2 days later put a retractment or apology statement or something out. So I think they were right on point, and a lot of the public, including us, would probably agree with their statement. So,
Well, Smith and Wesson, you know, to their credit, uh, they're moving out of Massachusetts. You know, in a protest of their gun laws up
Aren't
there.
they going to Tennessee?
I believe they are. They can't do this all in one move though, but they're making it happen. Just like Beretta left Maryland. Uh, these companies are, you know, at least standing up and making a move. Uh, you know, because of these state policies and these anti-freedom, anti-Second Amendment, anti-Constitution beliefs they all have. These companies are going elsewhere where they're treated better. You know what I mean? I don't blame them, and that's a big commitment from a company. So you know, pat them on the back. That was good. He did this letter. It's good that they're moving their company. They're heavily in the fight with us, man. So good for Smith and Wesson.
now, Burnaby or BS here is asking, so you believe it'll? I believe the tables will turn in the midterms. I don't know, man. I kind of gave up on that stuff, to be honest with you. No idea. So I don't know if somebody else has an opinion or not, but hopefully it doesn't turn into a big line out politics chat. So I think we're all getting scammed personally. So
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, man. Do your part. Go out, vote who you want to. So
every vote matters.
yeah, do your part, but we'll see what happens. After the last one, I can't ever predict what's going to happen. You never know.
Pretty much how I feel.
The main difference is that you don't have both parties trying to get rid of the top dog. That's what happened last time around. Both parties didn't want him. I'm not saying it was a conspiracy. What I'm saying is that even his own party wanted to get rid of him and just looked the other way. They could have done something. They could have said this is BS or what. And what I don't understand is why he didn't do anything. So if he thinks he's going to make this big comeback, he might, but that's in 2 years. Right now, these guys don't have any any reason to collaborate or any reason to look the other way. They're going to protect their opportunity. So I think that you'll see less fraud this time around. There's always going to be some fraud, but I think you're going to see less. And what happens though? Yeah, you guys brought up a good point. If you want to know what's going to happen, show up to vote. Otherwise, shut up. I get disappointed with so many people that complain, but then you ask them and they never vote.
Yeah, I vote. I just don't trust that my vote means anything anymore as far as the way they took it last time, which I've stated a dozen times. But they insisted we push the green button so it gets batch filed to get overlooked by a supervisor, which could be altered. So when we had no issues with our votes, we didn't screw up our votes or anything. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just don't trust the system. I mean, in my opinion now, this isn't for everybody or everybody on the panel, whatever, but if they can just straight up rig it like that, how do you know anything anymore? I mean, you're just picking and choosing what you want to believe in, having faith. And just don't see it, man. I think things, we need some serious action to take place, in my opinion, before I'm going to have any kind of trust, some accountability, something. So it doesn't mean I won't vote, but I'm not going to be out there screaming and telling you to go do it, because honestly, man, like I said, my personal feeling, I don't think it matters. They might even use it against me. So I don't know. So, but again, man, don't want to turn into doom and gloom or whatever. So what's really why I don't get into the politics, or why I've tried to stop, because it's just repetitive shit. Why didn't our parents fix this? Why didn't the people before fix it? Everybody's got a plan that never freaking works. They always change the rules. They do what they want to do. The people you vote for screw you over. It's the same shit so many years later, but yet this time it's going to be different. Like, it almost makes me think like society's a bunch of freaking morons. Like, there's a definition for that, but that's, again, I'm not trying to talk bad or whatever. I probably already said too damn much, but this shit is getting insane, man. Like, it's just whatever. But well, you haven't done it long enough. You haven't been around. Well, we're still again. Hey, we should probably just switch topics. Okay.
All right. Well, if you want another topic, somebody out there asked a question that I've been wondering myself for a while now. The question was asked by Sergeant Joe Smith, New York Outcast. Which do you like most, Glock or Taurus? I think that really it should be which do you like more. So not necessarily as a company, but the firearms that are available right now. If you had to take a pick between the two, who would you prefer, a Glock or a Taurus? Or which would you prefer, a Glock or a Taurus? You're muted.
Do I have to buy it, or it's just there's two?
All right, so let's say I can give you a Glock or a Taurus. They're gonna be, I don't know that they have any Glocks or Tauruses that are over, say, $700. So it's going to be $700 or less. You can pick the base model, performance center model. It doesn't matter, whatever the heck it is, but you're going to win one. It could be a revolver, it could be a semi-auto, but you've got to look at both companies and what they kind of offer. And once you get it, it's on you. So warranty, if there's a warranty issue, don't come back to me. You've got to handle that yourself. Accessories, you got to handle that yourself. Feeding it, you got to handle that yourself. You can't sell it right away either. So it's not going to be a buy, flip, and who cares. You've got to keep this thing for a couple years before you can get rid of it. So which would you go for, the Glock or the Taurus, and why?
That's a tough one. Kind of like that Taurus, what is it, PT92, their Beretta clone.
Yeah, yep.
To my knowledge, Taurus has a better warranty than Glock as well. Uh, I'd probably go with that PT92, I guess, off the top of my head. So, um,
Now in New York, you've got to have a 10-round mag for that, right?
yeah, yeah,
Okay, and I
yeah.
do think they have. I do think they offer that.
Okay, and my reason being, I've already owned a Glock. You know, I've had a Glock, I've had to use a Glock. No problem. I can shoot a Glock. It's not an issue. But I haven't had that Taurus PT92. So, which, from what I've seen, looks pretty good. It's not, obviously, Jason will tell you it's not a Beretta, but yeah, I'm cheap. I'm picky. Yeah, I'm not that picky. So.
Yeah, 10-round mag for that is $23.
Damn, it's not bad. At least in my opinion, not bad. So, and Taurus, I think 5 years from now, if I had a major problem, would probably address that. Where Glock, I think, what is it, a year or two, you're on your own. And if you had one Glock, you kind of had them all. You know what I mean? So, at least my opinion. So, I'd probably go with the Taurus. What about you two?
Interesting answer.
What about you, Jason? Clock perfection. This guy must be high.
Well, I got to go out in the chat and look. Where's Sergeant Joe Smith? Thanks, Squid, for using my question. Sergeant Joe Smith, thanks for asking. I've actually considered asking Outcast this on air a few times, and then squirrel, it went out of my head there. I don't see. Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah, Burnaby. Really?
Hopefully he's being sarcastic.
So this would be a tough call because I've already got a Taurus, so I don't have a Glock yet. On the other hand, Taurus makes a wider variety of firearms, of handguns. Yeah, and PT92 is higher up on my list than any Glock. I've been wanting one anyhow. Even though I've got an M9, I still wouldn't mind getting that one. So, yeah, I'd probably go with the Taurus as well, but not by a lot.
What's your take, Jason? Maybe he ran off to the bathroom, or
he had to stop the thunderstorm from blowing his house down or something.
Yeah, it looks like I didn't know this. If this is true from Sergeant Joe Smith, that the PT92 is a Beretta made in the same factory with same tools. I'd go with the PT92 first.
So the Beretta was having guns made in Brazil on their old tooling, their 1970s tooling, and then they ended up changing the design or something, and they just more or less just sold the tooling to Taurus. That's why things are a little bit different on that. So it was originally a contract with Beretta or something like that, but then they just, I don't know if it was just cheaper or easier to leave the old tooling there or whatnot. So it's got some of the R&D in it. As far as the quality, because they've got that warranty, that tells me that the quality will be there. If not, they'll cover it. But Beretta already did all the R&D on it.
Yeah, those Tauruses are based off of pretty much the original 92 Beretta. Beretta got a military contract with Brazil for those handguns.
Is that what it was? Okay.
But it was like kind of like our deal too. They'll buy your gun, but you got to make it here. So Beretta built a factory and made the guns for them. When the contract ran out, Beretta just sold the company, the tools, the employees, everything. Just sold it to Taurus. So those were basically the original. The Berettas that we see and buy off the shelves right now, they're all based off of the M9 specifications that the government wanted, the evolution sort of it. But the Tauruses are more of the original 70s Berettas.
Yeah.
But
With the
yeah, they're
frame
not
mounted safety.
yeah, they're not a copy or a fake or any of that. And yes, it is Beretta machines. It's Beretta everything. It was the Beretta factory, the machines, the employees, all of it. It's not that they didn't make money or whatever. Their contract ran out, and they didn't get the next contract. So Beretta just sold it. Is all. It wasn't that they weren't successful or they weren't any good or anything. It was only built for their contract. When the contract was up, they sold it.
So if you had to pick between a Glock or a Taurus, what would you pick? Somebody was going to buy you one.
Cyanide. I don't know. It'd just have to be a Taurus, I guess. I couldn't do a Glock.
Okay. Is there a Taurus other than that PT92 that would have your interest?
No.
Now, would you if somebody offered you one for free, totally legit, not stolen or nothing like that, nothing that's going to get you in trouble. If somebody offered you one for free, or you could get one for a screaming deal, would you want one just as part of your collection to kind of say, this was built on Taurus tooling by the company that bought out the factory or whatnot? Jason?
Oh, I'm sorry. What was the question?
So if you could get a PT92 in good shape for a really good price, or somebody was, giving one away, nothing illegal, nothing stolen, or nothing like that, maybe inherited it, whatever it is, would you take it based on the fact that it would kind of fit in with your collection, even though it's not a Beretta? It's based off the old Beretta design, and it's built in the old Beretta plant with old Beretta tooling, and it's related to it from a collector standpoint.
Oh, sure. I'd take a Taurus PT92 or a 99. Sure. When I've held, can I tell the difference between it and a Beretta? Yeah. There's a lot of differences around the frames, not just the safeties, but just thickness and shapes and stuff. But they're fine. I don't mind them. They actually have had some pretty cool different color schemes come from Taurus. So, the thing is really, you're only looking at $100 and some difference between a Taurus and a Beretta. You know what I mean? So, I go the Beretta route, but I do like those Tauruses. They're fine.
And I don't know about that. I've seen a PT92 for what, $4, and I paid $8 for my M9. So,
well, I've been buying all my Berettas lately at $700, and I've seen. I think they got a Taurus down there right now, and I think it's 500 something.
Yeah,
so I mean, it may be a little more than 100, but it's not much. And if you're looking at them used, most Berettas I see used, even unfired used, are $500.
So neither of you would consider the Taurus Judge?
no, for me, it's a novelty thing. I get it. You could use it for self-defense, for home defense, or, because you can put different kinds of shells in it. That's kind of cool, but you can do that with a lot of revolvers. The Taurus revolvers are supposed to be based off Smith & Wessons. They've got the warranty support and stuff like that. Really, I think if I was going to get a Taurus revolver, it'd be a tracker. Maybe even one of the trackers they don't make anymore, because I've seen some of the older ones or Raging Bull. One of the Raging, they got a lot of different ones in that larger frame. They got the Raging Hornet, the Raging Carbine, and all these other bigger revolvers. So I might go that route. But the Judge, no, for me that's not. Plus, it's a short barrel. I don't like short barrel revolvers. I get it for concealability or whatnot, but when you got a cylinder that big, I mean that the length on that cylinder is like on my Walker, and I would not want my Walker with a short barrel. That would not be cool.
Kind of see them the same, kind of like a novelty. Not really. I mean, I guess there's definitely a purpose. There's a purpose almost for anything. I guess it's just does it really fit your needs or whatever. So, I mean, that was my one possible with Taurus, and then I came up with that PT92. Like, I wouldn't buy a Judge, but if somebody gave me one, I'd play with it. You know, I don't know. It kind of seems like one of them complex guns in a way, or I don't know, just something to have, I guess. I mean, for me, I know G23 swears by his, which, depending on what you're doing, I could see there being advantages or whatever. But yeah, I think practical wise, that PT92 would be my pick again out of Taurus or whatnot. But figured I'd throw that out there, see what you guys thought about the Judge. What do you think about that, Jason? Taurus Judge? Would it even consider something like that or no?
Nah. Theirs and Smith and Wesson's Governor, those revolvers that shoot 45, 410, and all that, those never really attracted me.
Judge Carbine? I didn't even know they made such a thing.
Yeah, it's got a huge long barrel on it in a stock, but like I've heard like Jamie from JH586 say, why would you put a stock on a revolver and have your face that close up to a cylinder?
Your face. All right, so they did it with revolvers back in the 19th century. Not a lot of them. Really, what you got to worry about is having the way a lot of you guys grip your guns. You put your hand up there, so if it had a chain fire, you'd be in trouble. That's why they put a little tang there underneath the trigger guard for you to be able to rest it on your supportive hand, but not be in any danger. But I mean, your face is kind of close, but it's not really. I'd be more worried about chain fires, that sort of thing. I don't even like the idea of the ones from the 19th century. I'm not saying that somebody might not enjoy them or find some practical use. I don't. But they did that. They did that for repetitive fire. They would back then a lot of things were still single shot, and revolvers were, you got 5 or 6 shots with a revolver, and they were coming up with repeating guns. They had some, but they weren't as prevalent as you might think. So they were trying to make the revolver into your carbine, repeating carbine. And I mean, they didn't sell like crazy, but they sold. So trying to do that again now, yeah, somebody's going to buy it.
I personally don't have any interest in those types of firearms. I think they're, I don't know, funny looking. If I'm going to go into a carbine, I want more than 6 shots. You know what I mean? Nowadays, I can see it for historical or this or that or something. I don't know. But any of those, I think, are just funky kind of to me. I don't know. Just my opinion. So I guess everybody's got their own taste and whatnot. They may like them. So that's all fine. I wouldn't want to be shot with one. So it's like picture of Jason's baby over here.
Yeah, there's a new one. It's a 92X RDO.
Nice.
I put the wraparound grips on it. This gun is a Vertec. It comes straight in the back like a 1911. These grips put the hump back in it. I got the thumb rest, takedown lever, extended slide release. It's got a 92X performance trigger setup in it with a match hammer. And this is a different trigger. This is curved like the normal Beretta trigger, but it's serrated down the middle of it for a little bit of feel, a little bit of feedback on it. So you can see how far those levers stick out on the side. You can drop that slide. You put your thumb up there on your other hand, but you can drop that slide and that magazine very easily without even breaking your grip, twisting your wrist, anything, man. It's a nice gun, man. It's super smooth, super lightweight, super short reset, no take up at all hardly on the slack for the pre-travel. That's almost all gone, about 80% gone, and the reset is just crazy short on it, man. This is a nice firing gun. It's got all competition springs in it. Slide is like super easy to rack. This is a nice one, man. It's a runner.
Yeah, definitely pretty cool. Got some compliments out there from the crowd, so I think people like that. Had a question up here. Oh wow, we switched up, huh? Alright. I don't know how that happened, but whatever. From Kevin. Let's see. Haven't heard anything about the anything with the meetup or anything like that since I had mentioned it before. So nobody's really contacted or followed up on it. Rod of Iron in October. To my knowledge, I plan on being there. So obviously that could be considered a meetup if anybody's interested. That might be a little further than what we were speaking of for some people to make that trip. Like example, Jason, that might put him close to the 5-hour mark. So don't know, but it is a decent meetup place, so something to consider.
It's decent for what they offer. Free admission, right? You can open carry or conceal carry. They've got a store there. They have a range, and they'll let you shoot some of their guns. They've got a wide selection of different vendors and seminars and things like that. And it's a pretty friendly environment. Plenty of parking, definitely tons of parking. But the fact that it's all the way out there and it's remote from everything, that's the downside. It's the location sucks. But if you're willing to deal with that, everything else is really good about it, I think. It's the 7th through the 10th this year. Yeah.
I don't even have the details on it yet. So, yeah, I guess the location is an issue right where it probably is, but depending on what you consider travel-wise, you can find probably something a little like what you're looking for within a half hour. Yeah, there's just nothing right there, immediately right there. So I know we had issues even just trying to find a place for lunch last time. Because of the event, lots of places were kind of packed or backed up, this and that. So getting a table or something where normally you wouldn't have to reserve or call ahead, apparently you had to at that point. So we ended up off at some bar down the road, which was, it was food. It was all right.
Yeah, I thought the atmosphere and the service was better than the food, but the food was okay. Yeah. Because the staff there was kind of down to earth, but yeah, that's the downside of the remote location. You've got to go far off the beaten path, and like, if you were gonna go have something to eat or stay at the hotel, you might have to travel some. So I mean, they did have food there. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like necessarily sit down and eat kind of food. It was like carnival kind of food, which is fine too. Maybe go eat a big breakfast before you come in. That might work out better because then you've got a full stomach all day long. But yeah, I understand why they're where they're at, because of where they're at, they can have so much parking space and they can have their own gun range there and everything else. You know what I mean? So it does make sense from that standpoint. But for a one time a year event, that might be kind of put off for some people. You know, whereas when you have the convention center right next door to the parking structure, that's a different thing.
People are interested or whatever, maybe look into it. So, was it what was it Car or Tommy Gun Warehouse? You could do a Google search for that.
If you just type in Rod of Iron Freedom Festival 2022, the first thing that come up was the website Rod of Iron Freedom Festival, all one word, lowercase.org. And here's another thing that kind of makes some people not want to do this. You have to register online to get free tickets. You might go, well, it's free. Why do I need a ticket? Yeah, I know it's stupid. It's absolutely stupid, but I think they're doing it for insurance purposes. You can register when you get there. They will not let you in unless they give you a tablet and you fill out your stuff or whatever. But you can also register online and then you just get in. Now, I forget how they did it, but if you had already registered, you get right in. The same thing at NRAM. You have to register at NRAM. If you've got a membership or you've already got your credentials set up, you're in and out. Otherwise, it's a few minutes and it's not really anything. But for some people, it's like, I don't want my name on a list and I don't want to get spammed. And then they don't show up. And it's like, all right, dude, I got nothing for you. I haven't got any spam emails from when I went 2 years ago. I haven't had anybody knock on my door and say, were you in Pennsylvania? And, so for those of you that are all like into your conspiracies, the government's out to get you, I guess this ain't for you. But for insurance purposes, I think is why they had people register.
I haven't heard anything either, like as far as any kind of spam or anything. I think they say they won't do that, but even as being a vendor last year, you think I would get some type of, encouragement to come back or something, or courtesy email? I got nothing. So they don't bug you from it. But I would state, I don't know, I guess you got, my opinion, your opinion. There's a few other people that have gone. There's a lot of people in the gun industry there. Let's see. I did first time I met Steve Bannon there. I mean, there's people that, that's one of them lists, in my opinion. Don't be a punk. You know what I mean? It's not like a government turn-in list or whatever. When COVID was going on and the governor out there threatened to shut the place down because of everything, they basically gave him the finger and ran it, even though they threatened to basically assault the place. And nobody gave us a problem. Nobody gave us a problem. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's not a list I would be worried about. You know what I mean? If it is a so-called list.
Well, no, that's just it, though. I talked to some people right around that time, and they're like, "Oh, register? Pfft, forget it. I'm out. I'm not doing it. I don't want my." And it's like, dude, it's not what you think. That's just it. I'm going to call an event for what I think it is, better or worse.
You got to stand for something at some point. I mean, you can't be a trendsetter forever. I mean, it's a freaking event. You're not going to start a war or something. What I don't understand.
Well, it's worth going to, but if somebody said it's too remote, it's not close enough to a hotel or a restaurant, I could understand it. But they go, I don't want my name on the list, then I'm not with them. That's
why are you even on YouTube then? You think they don't know who the hell you are? like some of this shit doesn't make any sense. So but
I just
some more photos here of Jason's.
I wanted to show you this holster that I got. Right. From Beretta.
Yeah,
it's nice little
pretty nice form
competition holster. And then I got the belt and some mag carriers. I got the holster and the belt and all this stuff for free from Beretta, man.
Well, considering you have like a storefront for them, personal,
Well, what I did is
collection.
I needed the parts for the gun, anyways, right? I needed the parts for the gun, and I was gonna spend, and then there's just a few other things I wanted. Um, I was gonna spend about $300, and their sale came on right now. Their Hunting Expo sale, and you get 40% off if you spend like $400, right? Uh, your shopping cart says 400, and then they discount it. Well, in my email, I got one from them for the same thing, except this one went to 50% off for $600 stuff, and I was already spending $300 anyways. So I used that code, and I got an extra $300 worth of stuff to pick out for free. So I ended up with $660 worth of stuff, and I only paid $330. So
Damn.
that's why I went all Beretta. They took care of me on the gun, so I went with that. This is really Ghost products, Ghost holsters products. Beretta just put their name on them. That's a Ghost Thunder holster, basically. But like I said, I couldn't resist. I almost just spent what I bought and just clicked 2 of everything. Then I was like, nah, man, let me go ahead and get a holster rig from them for free. So basically, I got it all for free, man. Plus, I got some other stuff. I got some more magazines. I got my magazine extensions in the deal. A bunch of good stuff, man. Little knickknacks from some extra springs and whatnot. So, yeah, I was pretty happy, man. 50% coupon. Can't beat it.
Yeah, that's a good deal, 50%. So, man, shit, I'd be happy with that. So, looks like that worked out pretty well.
Yeah, that only comes around like the major holidays, like Black Friday and Christmas. Beretta will have a big sale. Usually Memorial Day, 4th of July, they have a big sale. And they usually have one on Labor Day. But there's only a couple of them a year that they'll go 50% off. Like they'll go 20, 30, 35% off like now and then. But 50% off is only a once or twice a year deal. So you got to hop on it.
Mm, pretty cool. So, well, I don't know. Hopefully, Rick gets his truck up and running. So, deals with all his brake issues. Be back with us here. I don't think he's doing Wednesday, is he? I don't know. Wednesday or
Said he
next.
wasn't doing Wednesday, but he had one last Wednesday, didn't he?
Yeah. No, he wasn't. Now he might again. I don't know. I don't know what the guy's doing. So, but yeah, hope he'll be back with us. So, figure I'll probably start to wrap this up. Let's see, we've been on about an hour and a half. That's about his show. Plus, I can only stay here for so long before I go crazy. So, I am not one to sit on my ass all day. So, that's why I gonna try figuring out how to do it on cell phone here. I was attempting to. The lady was trying to get me to do it last night, but phone was almost dead or whatever. But basically, maybe I could do something on mobile and for future shows and whatnot as well, and might be more of a thing, I guess. But yeah, not a huge fan of sitting at a PC, so I'm not sure how some of you guys do it. I don't know, man. Between the fast food and sitting on your butt all day, I'm shocked you're still with us, some of you guys. So gotta get off your ass and be active. But anywho, any final points or anything you guys want to point out here, or what?
Macaroni and cheese is the best.
I agree. Baked, homemade macaroni and cheese, not that Cheeto Man box stuff Michigan people like. Maybe Squib stepped away. Figured with a comment like that, he'd have to have some type of response. But
He's stirring that macaroni and cheese.
yeah, he's probably stirring something. I think he was making a couple review videos today. Could be regarding alcohol, so I don't know. So,
were you talking about me? I was going to get another drink.
yeah, I was talking about you. You got any last minute things you want to throw out there? Anything you want to say to the lovely people that joined us this afternoon?
Nah, just thanks for joining us. Thanks for doing the makeup show there, Rob. Good conversation this afternoon, and yeah, just glad we've got this culture here where we get together and do things.
Cool. Jason?
Yeah, man. Just thanks for everybody tuning in out there. Thanks for filling in for Rick, man. And it's good just to hang out with y'all.
Chris sneaking in the back door here. What's up, Chris?
Oh, hey, Chris.
We were talking about you earlier. All bad stuff. But, you know, for $5 you can go back and watch the replay. You might be shocked. All right, well, I believe G23 is going to have his show later. I'll probably be over there if he has it and sends invites out. He's been playing hooky lately, kissing butt to his wife and stuff, you know, trying to make up for those flowers I sent her. He's still struggling. I told him just buy her some flowers, but cheap son of a bitch. I don't know.
But did he buy her instead a Glock or something?
I don't know. I think he just, you know, took her somewhere for dinner or something and tried to make it sound like that was something special. Like he's not supposed to feed her anyway. I don't know. I can't speak for the guy really, but he might be doing his show. Actually, I did get a link, I think, pretty sure. So I'm pretty sure he's doing one if anybody's interested. Yeah, sorry. I know this wasn't exactly Rick's show or whatever. It was kind of last minute to me. I mean, I haven't even shaved really. And kind of a mess here. Had a decent night, you know, was out playing in the river and sitting around the fire pit having some drinks, got to bed later than I want to admit. And so this is what you got. So hopefully it was somewhat entertaining to you. Obviously, everybody here chose a Taurus over a Glock, so that's something you like, guys. That's something. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Thanks for coming by. Have a great weekend. Eat a salad and do something active to your abilities. Everybody's not at the same level, but do something. Don't give up, folks. We need you.